Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to today's live session. We're on day 47, and I'm so excited once again for the amazing and incredible conversation we're going to have today because today could finally be the day that breaks the one factor that's been limiting you, that helps you gain the one skill that you may have been missing to achieve the success and the dream life that you want in your relationships and your career, and essentially just every area of your life. Because if there's one truth about us as human beings, it's that we are social animals. Nobody has ever succeeded in isolation. Nobody has ever lived in isolation. Nobody has ever even gone depressed in just isolation that's completely being cut off from the world. In fact, isolation is a state that human beings just cannot even comprehend. Why? Because we are social beings. We need people. We need connection. We need the feeling of love, of joy, of this common spirit of connection and of growth. But a lot of times, that becomes the very reason we are not able to grow. Not because having the need is bad, but because we don't know how to handle and manage the one thing that comes when you go into that zone, when you go into being with people, and that's conflicts and misunderstandings. It's crazy. I mean, literally crazy how poor we are at managing these two things in our lives. And I can promise you one thing, if you master these things as I'm telling you today, and if you understand exactly the principles behind them, and if you know how to deal with them, not like an ordinary person, but like an achiever, then my friends, you are going to be this person who, no matter what he or she encounters, no matter who betrays you, no matter who hurts you, you become so strong, you become so resilient that from every single setback, from every single break of trust, from every single time you felt like I did the wrong thing, or this relationship didn't work out, or this business partnership didn't work out, you will be able to be the one who bounces back so fast, it's crazy, who recovers so fast, it's incredible, and who can create success that is so much faster and so much better than what it would have been before. Because what saddens me is this fact: in businesses, in companies, in perfect careers, in relationships, it's not that people don't have the skill to make it happen. It's not that the ideas are bad. It's not that the compatibility is just not there. The biggest problem is people don't know how to deal with people. In teams where the discussion should be how can we make sure that we are growing, the discussion turns into who is at fault here, who came up with the wrong idea, who is the one who has created all this mess. And suddenly, the moment that question gets asked in a meeting that could have been productive, in a meeting that could have led to a meaningful change, in a meeting that could have supported you, your goals, your growth, your vision, everything and everything, rather than that being a meeting like that, here's what it turns into: everybody wears an armor, everybody is ready for defense, and everybody is ready to shoot their arrows and point them to a scapegoat who will be easy enough to blame the failures on, because nobody wants to take responsibility. And the moment you shift the focus from what went wrong to who went wrong, oh, you cannot help but have people who put on these shields and who put on these challenges and these barriers. And so now suddenly the very same team meeting that would have been a productive one turns into a verbal war zone, turns into an energetic war zone, where the focus is only one thing: who is wrong, who is getting scapegoated today, who is getting to bear the brunt of the failure. But my question is that even a productive strategy? Is that even worth it? Is that even giving you an ROI if you had to think in business terms? And you'll figure out it's not. Because all that time that was spent arguing about who is the problem, who's making things go wrong, and this and that, well, at same time could have been used to create a positive impact, right? It could have. And the people who are at the top, the people who are achievers, they master that. They know how to make it happen. Same logic applies in interpersonal relationships. If both of you are fighting, or if three are fighting, or if four are fighting, or how many ever people are fighting, the question there is not this, that who is wrong or who made the mistake. The question is what is wrong, what went wrong, and how can we collectively correct it. Yes, if somebody made a mistake, they should bear the consequences of that. But should those consequences be laden with guilt, be laden with regret and punishment and an ego trip that the other person gets? No, not at all. That is what ruins relationships. So, the very first way to handle conflicts and criticisms like an achiever is to stop focusing on who is right or who is wrong, and to start focusing on what is right and what is wrong. The moment you do that, you gain the ability to step into the second important action step, to step into the second important way of making things work out in your favor. And here's what I mean by that. If you can learn to control your emotions, and if you can learn to especially control your anger, you are going to be amazed at the level of success you achieve, at the life you create. And I'll come to how to control that anger. But before that, I just want to explain to you where that anger comes from and why that is a problem. Now, here's an example of that. As I'm talking to you right now, if I am feeling very thirsty, okay, and if I'm not had water for the last 2 days probably, and my voice is all coarse and dry, and I'm trying to focus on you, I'm trying to focus on creating a result for you, I'm trying to give you this video, I'm trying to do this live, but 2 days I've been thirsty, and right next to me is this tempting water bottle. What do you think I'm going to do? If I've been thirsty for 2 days and I'm speaking to you, and I know I need to maintain some professionalism here, maybe you won't even judge me if I drink some water. But what do you think I would do? Would I just let the bottle be there at the side on my bottle stand on my desk? Or rather than focusing on you, my focus would always be on the bottle. It would always be on the bottle. I would go back to the bottle. I would go back to the bottle. I would think about the bottle. I would look at the bottle. I would look at the bottle and speak to you. And it wouldn't create any connection. You wouldn't feel any impact. My work would suffer. My ability would suffer. My creativity would suffer. And overall, the experience itself would suffer. And I'd call that video a failure. Well, guess what? That extreme thirst, that extreme distraction, that extreme desperation that you feel when you've not had water for 2 days, and you just see that tempting bottle right there that you just want to pick, because of which anything and everything, no matter how important in the current moment, it ceases to become important, and all you are focused on is that water bottle that will quench your thirst. Well, exactly the same way anger behaves. It snatches away your attention, it snatches away your focus. Rather than focusing on what matters in the long term, what matters in 5 years, what matters in 10 years, what matters even just tomorrow or today, for example, rather than focusing on that, the moment you get angry, the moment you let that pissed off energy take over, and you're boiling and you're shouting and you're saying crazy and you're saying crazy words. See, even this got so crazy for me that my throat started to behave in that way as well, where my words are getting a bit choked up as I coughed a bit here. Sorry about that. But you see, when we're in that emotion of anger, we are no longer in control of ourselves. Being stern and assertive is different. Being angry is different. Because when you're in anger, you say some of the most hurtful things that you don't even mean. Relationships that have lasted for 5 years, 10 years, maybe 20 years can get broken like this if you go into the wrong zone of anger, say the wrong things, do the wrong things, and end up hurting the other person so much that rather than everything before that mattered to them, your one action pushes them away. And then you wonder, "Oh, why do my business deals not work through? Why am I struggling so much at home? Why am I always fighting with my partner? Why are things not working out?" Well, check your temper, check your emotional reactions. Do you focus on the goal? Do you allow yourself to be strategic? Do you let any and every criticism just come and go? Or do you get triggered by it like this so easily? You get infuriated, you get angry, You may express it, you may not express it. That's a different thing. But you do get angry, and the moment that anger takes over, logic is out the window, goals are out the window, productivity is out the window, and the only thing that matters is I want to prove myself right. That's the most senseless mission to go on ever, because you could prove that you are right to 50 people and still the 51st person will come and make you doubt yourself. If you have the capacity to make yourself feel doubtful, if you have the capacity to get all of those emotions, and you might be thinking that when you're getting angry, when you're getting all worked up, when you're getting all assertive, and we're like, come on now, I will show you who you are, I will show you who I am. And you're getting into that zone of fighting and of just bashing the other person, maybe verbally, hopefully not physically, and any and everything that goes on when we're in anger, right? Well, in that moment, you might think you're in control, but you're not. Other people are controlling you, because you are giving them the choice to, you are giving them the option to, you are the one who is giving them the freedom to treat you in that way, to act along with you in that way. Because think about it, how easy is it? And I'm sure you've done this as a kid. If you know your parents a bit too well, you know exactly what their buttons are, which would push their anger and which would trigger them. Now, if you were someone who wasn't paid a lot of attention as a child, you know what was one way for you to get attention? Press the anger button. Oh, then they infuriate. Then they're like, oh my God, what did you do? Are you stupid? Don't you understand? Whatever it is. But hey, the tension's on me. I'm getting what I want. So children get deliberately good at pressing their parents' buttons, at doing the exact things that they know will set them off, not because it's rocket science, but because the parents are acting foolish. The parents are acting like an algorithm that is programmed by someone else, not knowing that they themselves are the programmer, and they can change it anytime they want, they can change it anywhere they want. And this anger is what people use to control you. The reason high achievers are high achievers is not because they don't have emotions, it's not because they're robotic human beings, it's because they're independent, and nobody around them can use their emotions to influence, to trigger, and to do something or the other to make this person feel bad, to make this person feel angry, to be like, okay, I press the button, the person gets angry, the person forgets about his or her goals, the person forgets about what's important, the person gets into an ego battle, and yes, then work is left behind, promises are left behind, priorities are left behind, and now people are fighting about why are you fighting. You see where this is going. You see how futile all of this is. And you know how you can avoid that? The next time someone presses your button, the next time someone triggers you, the next time someone makes you feel like you're worthless, the next time someone triggers your self doubt, rather than reacting, just take a pause. Just pause. Feel whatever you're feeling inside, that's okay. Do not express it. Now, you may be saying, what is he doing? Is he telling us to suppress our emotions? No. I'm telling you to be aware. I'm telling you to be emotionally intelligent. I'm telling you to be clear. Because there will be situations in life which trigger you so much that what you want to do is write a scathing email to your boss on why he's the worst person on the planet. And there are some days when you're hurting so much that you think, oh, maybe I should go back to this ex, or maybe I should go back to this person who was never good for me at all, but at least he or she made me feel important. That's a big mistake. That's what happens when you give into these feelings and let them control you anyhow and everyhow. In the long term, this does not work at all. What you need is the skill and the emotional intelligence to see where your emotions are real, where they are false, and do you need to act according to your emotions, or do you need to act independent of your emotions so that you become a rational, clear, and strategic decision maker. And to give you a understanding of what I mean by this, has a simple thing. Don't make a promise when you're excited. That's the first rule of all. When you promise when you're excited, you overpromise things. And just like that, Do not say things that you would never say otherwise, just because you are in anger, just because you've lost your temper, just because it would be the easier thing to say right now, because you cannot take your words back. You cannot take your impression back. You cannot take the damage back. You can apologize. You can cry. You can beg. But that's not what achievers do they? They live their life on a much higher standard because they don't allow all of this to come in the first place. And the best way to avoid this regret is they delay their temper, they delay their anger. It does not suppress them, it only gives them the confidence and the clarity and the courage to share the things that matter, to focus on the things that matter, rather than just anything and everything. So here's what I want you to know. If the next time you're getting angry, the next time you are just like, I want to punch this person in the face, or I'm so tired, I'm so frustrated from this work that I'm doing every day, before you end up making a mistake you regret, ask yourself this. If 5 years later I became a very successful person, I became the best achiever, and this email, this message, this text got leaked, would I be proud of myself or would I be embarrassed about myself? Whatever the answer is, you know what to do. If it's embarrassment, do not send it. It's just your unfiltered anger that's coming out in ways that's only going to hurt you. If you know, yeah, even if this comes out, I'm okay with that. I know who I am. I know why I did this. By all means, go ahead. Be proactive. Be assertive. Say what you mean. Do not sugarcoat for the sake of people, but do not hurt. Do not anger. Do not scathe just because that is what you know and you don't know a better way to deal with the situation. So, two things here: stop focusing on who is right, start focusing on what is right, and delay your anger, because that is the destroyer of relationships, that is the destroyer of homes. It's not something you mean, but it's energy that can have an impact that lasts a lifetime. Be mindful of it, be clear of it, and for the day tomorrow, ask yourself this: where all am I getting angry, or rather where all am I choosing to get angry? Because remember, your emotions are in your control. So keep that check, keep that going. And I'll see you tomorrow once again for the exact same time, that is 8:30 p.m. IST, with another session that helps you grow, that helps you achieve, as we did today, by learning how to handle conflicts and criticism, focusing on what is right, and after that, delaying anger and choosing more rational, loving responses. Start doing this, and you will be amazed at the magic and the results you create. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you once again tomorrow at the same time. Bye.